Matt Jenkins and Steve Childers. Guys, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us what you guys do.
Well, what we do is we manufacture DEF equipment.
DEF equipment.
Right.
So this is going to be the equipment for the distribution.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And tell us here, Matt, you guys have had obviously a busy year here in the States. 2009 was part of the essentially the building of the infrastructure, a lot of work going on. How were you guys involved?
We started out early, probably about 2 years ago, kind of assessing the market and figuring out where the trucks were going to be.
Right.
You know, the market that was the place that was going to be out there.
Sure.
And then basically building an infrastructure really with a distribution network and putting together what we figure is a first line rate of equipment that we're manufacturing here in the United States.
Right.
Distributing through our network and then building partnerships with Daimler and Freightliner and Volvo and Mack and really trying to set ourselves up as the premier provider that not only can get the equipment out there, but that maintains the purity of the product, which is critical to the trucks that are out there on the road or they're going to be getting on the road today to make sure that the components work as they should work.
Steve, you guys obviously had a very, very busy year, and Matt kind of touched on it, trying to figure out where those points of demand initially were going to be. That had to present some pretty good challenges, I guess.
Yeah, part of my job is to handle operations and manufacturing.
Right.
So, we decided early on a limited line, but over the course of this year we expanded. So now we handle equipment from a single drum pump all the way up to a large retail tote building.
Yeah.
And a retail dispensing building. So our product line now probably consists of about 15. Plus, we have a full engineering group, and so we do on engineering demand. If somebody needs a particular system, we'll design and engineer it in-house.
Yeah. The demand is going to be there, and it's going to, of course, start to grow. It's a little bit slow rolling out here in 2010, but certainly, Matt, as we get farther into this, the economy starts improving, we get more demand, and freight demand jumps. We're going to see a pretty steep slope upward for the demand of diesel exhaust fluid. So it's not like you guys can rest on your laurels yet, huh?
No, not at all. It's definitely on an upward trend. We're starting to get calls from dealerships now who are getting the delivery dates on their vehicles.
Yeah.
A lot of our business today is coming from the fleets and the municipalities, the cities who are getting vehicles.
Right.
As you know, Pilot Truck Stop, we're providing them with their DEF dispensing equipment that's going out across the United States.
Right.
So they're starting to see some sales that coming out of those units.
Yeah.
So it's definitely we're definitely on the beginning end of the curve. But it's ramping up very quickly.
Yeah, and Steve, Matt touched on it, but it's a good point to remember all of the points where we will need that DEF. So these distribution points, dealerships, truck stops, they're going to be numerous.
Yeah, the ramp up is maybe slow into through the third quarter, but come the fourth quarter and the start of next year, especially when the truck manufacturers, usually at the end of the year they do a little sale deal so they can press trucks into the next year. When that happens, it's going to be pretty aggressive.
Right.
And though we manufacture a lot, there's going to be several other manufacturers out there too. There's just no way one company is going to be able to maintain or keep up with the demand of equipment.
Sure. For the Class 8 market and the end user, when it comes to your relationship there with Pilot, Matt, I have to assume the major corridors were the first concern, your I-80, your I-40, your I-95 corridors. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Pilot basically kind of took a geographical map of the United States and picked out the major trucking routes that the major long-haul truckers basically use, and then strategically chose where within a distant half day or so that those trucks could make it to any one of those locations. And up there today, I think, Steve, correct me if I'm not wrong, I think there's 38 locations that are installed and be 50 locations before the end of Q2, and then ramping those up.
Yeah. And Steve, it's worth repeating that it's about a 2 to 3% usage when it comes to DEF versus fuel. So you're not going to have to fuel up. The end user's not going to have to fuel up with DEF every time they fuel up with diesel.
No, they're going to be able to, a Class 8 truck is going to have somewhere between 18 and 23 gallons. And So, they're going to be able to go 3,000 miles probably without a fill-up. But, most of the people we're talking to, when they get half full, they're going to top off. They're not going
Right.
to allow this product, because they have some truck issues that occur if they run dry.
Right.
So, in our conversations, what we're seeing from the truckers is that, they get a quarter to half a tank, they're going to go ahead and top it off at the next fill if possible, and those
Yeah.
kind of things. And
Yeah.
so, our approach to distribution is, and Matt put this well, in our system, but we went out to the NFL cities, the major
Right.
cities in the United States,
Right.
and set up our distribution first.
Sure.
Because because to your point, they are putting these across the major distribution points,
Yeah.
in the major cities,
Yeah.
on the major interstates. So,
Right.
so that's where we set up our first line of distribution. Now we've covered pretty much all the United States, but
Yeah.
you can sell equipment, but you got to have service.